Good morning, and because it's morning, you know what that means? I can load up on caffeine, baby. Now, today I will be reacting to these three sick-ass videos. They're a little different today, a bit more visual effectsy, but I figured I'd give my best shot to try and break down how I would go about recreating it. Now, if you're new here, I'm Ryan, editor, agency owner, and content creator, which means I deal with content every single day. And in order to stay inspired, I created this show, and ultimately to give you the secrets how the pros make what they make. And with that being said, let's get into the first video of today. Video 1 is a quick 6-second video, but pretty sick. Sick. I love these infinite loop videos. They're so well done. So how would I go about recreating this? Well, first of all, you need a clean slate, which means basically just the background which you're filming on and then nothing. And in the first video, you're just going to, as she is right now, throw her jacket up into the air, let it fall down as straight as you can. And there comes a point, and then you're going to continue walking off screen. There's basically two different videos, obviously. The one where you throw your jacket and you walk off screen. It's important that you try to do this as nonchalant as you can. The second video, you're going to have to be wearing your jacket, and you're gonna want to do some sort of like squat jump or whatever, whereby you basically go all the way through your knees and then jump up and have a little bounce. So if we just focus on this segment now, we'll see that basically this part, because you see the shadow disappears and the shadow comes in. This is the part where the original clip is, which means you need to film yourself going all the way through your knees and then stand back up. You have a little bounce in it, you turn to camera, take off your jacket, and then this is the point like this at which it loops, and you throw it again. In post, what you need to do is obviously line these videos up. And so you have the blank slate, and then you have your first clip, and you basically draw two opacity masks on both clips. The first one would be the one whereby you throw the jacket, and then you line that up with the jump around here. You start showing the feet, basically keyframe the bottom of your feet to show through means of like a crop or an opacity and a mask. You slowly make them grow bigger, and then at this point you reappear. So basically it's just 3 layers, clever masking on top of each other, and of course good timing. And that was that. I say that, but again, bear in mind, this stuff, in order to make it look great, is always harder to pull off than it looks. Do not underestimate. The next video is Mr. Keep Them Guessing's final boss, aka Caleb and Natalie.
Don't that beat all?
So sick. As you can see, there's a slight video effects trend today. My algorithm was definitely onto some sort of visual effects challenge for me, and since I don't do too many of them myself, it's a nice way to stay inspired. This first part, you'd need one clip as it is here, whereby you have one piece of pizza and you roll it in the circle, and then you need additional clip obviously where the pizza is whole. So I think you'd probably set an opacity mask around the pizza that is just a single slice, and as you go around it, you keyframe a second mask on the full pizza to basically disappear as you're pushing the pizza through. Then in terms of obviously going back here, this is just replacing the pizza as we've zoomed in. Your focus is on Caleb, and someone has come in and put a new pizza in the box. This part was fucking great. As far as how to do this to make it look like it's sticking to the wall, I actually don't think is that crazy. I mean, you could glue some to your wall, but that would be a bit crazy and damaging to your wall. But what you can do is take a sliced pizza on a little like green screen, and these guys have green screens for days, so I'm pretty sure that's how they did it. On a green screen, take a little photo from above of your pizza slice, drag the photo into Premiere, keyframe out the green screen, and then just place them on the wall like this. And if you add in the like smear of the tomato sauce, that's what's really going to sell the effect. Maybe you would have to create a smear tomato sauce when you make the photo on your green screen that you already add in the tomato sauce to place it like this. If you want to sell it in the sense that the pizza falls as well, you have to keyframe it to start to move downwards as the camera moves away. Oh, it might also be that they made this into paper versions actually and stuck it to the wall. It looks here like it changes to paper, but it could be that they made photos. Either way, those are two ways I would go about creating something like this. But you'll definitely also need the video of you actually throwing a piece of pizza, so that's gonna be fun. Enjoy cleaning that up. This was so sick. A similar approach to the previous video that we did with the visual effects. In essence, you just need two clips lined up in the same way. Ideally with, you put your phone on a tripod, because it's important when you're doing these things that the background doesn't move at all. And so you set up a tripod, you lock exposure, and you film there, and you do your absolute best to not move the tripod at all. And then it's just about getting two clips and finding the perfect match cut. Started with the pizza and raised it up, and then he will have kept his hands in that exact same position, and someone will switch out the pizza with the hat and then continue and fold the hat onto his head. And then in post, it's just about perfectly lining up the point at which it switches. This was done smart as well. Obviously, it's just you need another person for that with a similar skin tone, similar arm hair amount. And you don't notice this when you're just watching the video, but when you're able to break it down frame by frame, he has a bit more dark here versus here. And I think then they just add the like glass overlay on top to make this feel texturized.
Don't bat me at all.
And then they continue with that texture here when they basically zoom out the Polaroid and the video clip together. Here you see it's still the same, so it's probably a Polaroid with a green effect. Here we switch to an actual Polaroid picture. She then drops, and as it drops, it morphs into a pizza box. Now, this particular morphing you can do means of an opacity mask, and set the expansion to minus whatever, much as you can, and then keyframe it as it drops for the mask to reveal itself. And what that does is it will then kind of create this pop effect. It's the same trick Carl Shakur, for example, used for his signature snap intro. Let me just recreate it, whereby basically what he does is you've got the chair, you got a clean plate like this with the chair on it, and then he then goes and snaps himself into screen like that. And he then snaps himself back into screen like that. It's the same principle, it's just applied here in a different way. Cool! Right, 2 videos down, 1 more to go. This one is less visual effectsy, but I thought it was sick anyway. Let's go! Fucking sick, bro. This was crazy, man. So good. This is obviously sick. So how would you go about creating this? You could try do this with just taking a bunch of different pictures yourself. When it comes to AI, I feel like you have 2 versions of AI. You have utility AI and you have creative AI. Utility AI is things that help you speed up processes, workflows. An example of that might be if I'm making a podcast, we use a tool called Firecut, do the multicam cuts between the guests and speakers. And that means it does that in like, let's say 3-4 minutes. And then I just go through and double check if all of the parts are lined up accurately or if there's no nuance. But it means that something that used to take 4 hours now can be done in like 45 minutes. Obviously, depending upon the length of the podcast. And as this software becomes better, it will also take me less and less time, right? At some point, I'll just put it in the tool and I won't even need to check it because I'll know it'll be done well. That is utility. And by the way, I can recommend Firecut thoroughly. I have an affiliate code for you guys if you want it, so I'll add it in the link below. That being said, creative AI is where, in essence, use it as a means to get creative shots that you otherwise wouldn't. And the reason why this one, in my opinion, as a creative is so debated is because people feel like it's cheating. You're not actually being creative yourself, you're letting a tool be creative for you. I'm personally on the side of within reason. I think you should use AI as a means to push the boundaries of what you can do. And so the reason why I'm rambling like this is to make the point here that you could do this way faster by just asking for a bunch of different prompts in AI, asking for hands on certain type of backgrounds, but you could also create these shots yourself. I'm pretty confident these shots are AI. Anyway, my point is, I think we should only use creative AI, in my opinion, when you're using it to push the boundaries of what isn't possible in real life. Maybe you disagree, let me know. Would you use creative AI for this or would you recreate the shot yourself? I always always feel like there's a little bit more authenticity, or when you create these shots yourself, I don't know, somehow I feel like people can feel that, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm wrong. Cool, that ramble out the way, moving on. This is fucking sick as well. No idea what the word means. Go about recreating this is as follows. Obviously, you're going to need a bunch of different match cuts, right? So this is the base layer. Basically, you need to find this word several times and then line them up perfectly through means of opacity and guidelines. And once they're lined up and done, what you're then going to do is you're going to make a color matte. And that color matte needs to be in whatever color you want. But if we're trying to match this, you know, it would be pink and then orange and then blue, etc. And then you're going to select the blend mode multiply, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow the background to bleed through so that it feels like it's on top as it is here. And then finally, to sell it, you're going to hand draw an opacity mask with a slight feather on it, not too much, to let it shine through a bit more. You could also crop it, and then I know the crop effect in Premiere has a feather function so that it bleeds over a little bit. And the final detail on the cake is to set the opacity to like 91, 92, so that it bleeds through just a little bit. Same effect is done here, whereby it's blank screen and then boom, we've added in the pink. It could be that what they did in this case is have a before and after, whereby they've actually just highlighted it themselves. It could be that you recreate it. This looks less digitalized, so it could be that this is just done in real life. This hand effect is also sick, by the way. So this is the original video. What he's done is he's rotoscoped that out. He's made the hand appear here through means of a flash to make it not feel too random. So he adds it in, invert the color, take Premiere effect called invert, slap that on top, one frame normal color, one frame again invert, one frame normal color, and then make it disappear to make it feel kind of glitchy, and then we go into the original frame. By adding this in, you redraw the focus to where we're looking next. And so if we were to just go from that text to this page, it would feel kind of random. And by adding this in, you kind of prepare the viewer for the next shot. Also a little grit overlay here on top. You could find these by searching film dust overlays. I know there's a bunch on YouTube. A free version, when you drag in the overlay, set it to darken if you have a white dust and screen if you have black dust. Moving on. This particular shot was so sick as well. Basically, set your camera up, draw this out by hand in advance. The word, I still don't know what it actually means. How would I say this to my Portuguese friends? Orçao, orçao. I'll ask my Portuguese employee when she comes in later. But anyway, and then in each frame, add in the word, or add in the letters, I mean. Take a picture, take a new picture, take a new picture, take a new picture. You get the point. What you could even do is run it as a video and put the letters in. Just make sure to have your hand fully out of frame and not put it in too quick, because otherwise you're not going to give yourself the space to cut it effectively. Same use of effect previously we discussed with making the hand come in there, and also the same style with the flash, I mean. This typing effect is done the same actually as this text effect. Something I've spoken a lot about in other episodes is to bring consistency into your videos. You need to use this a small subset of effects multiple times. Here he's done the same, right? So probably a video, but basically he'll have typed the first part. You might do this as a picture as well. Don't move your phone, keep it in the same place, and then take a picture, 2 letters, take a picture, type 2 letters, take a picture, 2 letters, take a picture, in this case 4 letters, take a picture. You get it. Take a picture, 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 blah, 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 blah. In this whole time you haven't moved your phone, so make sure to type like this, because if you move it, you're going to struggle to sell the effect. And line up all those pictures, nest that layer, and then what he has done in this case is added a manual scale out. So the original, let's say the base shot was shot this distance, and he has zoomed in about 120, maybe a bit less, and then keyframed from 120 down to 100 as the typing develops. This is also sick. I'd imagine you could get this just through means of a clever time lapse. Maybe you could do it with an AI prompt as well. But anyway, if you've come this far in the show, that means we've reached the end. And I want to thank you very much for watching. It's been an absolute blast. I'm loving recording these. It constantly keeps me inspired. If you felt at all like you enjoyed yourself or learned something new, do consider smashing the subscribe button because it helps more than you know. And in the meantime, I'll see ya in the next one. Adios.